Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. My name is NCK2310. For the returning subscribers, welcome back and thank you so much. I really do appreciate that you always give me your time. I do appreciate so much. For those that are new, as I have said, I'm NCK2310. Normally we dwell in music. One day I'm sure we're gonna go back to that. But for the time being, we are a little bit in what's going on in Kenya because I'm from Kenya originally. So Kenya is I made Kenya my business. Yes, for the silent listeners, welcome as well. No disturbances. Lean back and let's see what I've prepared for us. Um, yes, as you can see on my title, that today is a very, very sad day for all of us Kenyans back home in Kenya, or for those of us that are outside Kenya, those of us that are in the diaspora. It's a very, very sad day because last night we lost a very young boy because he was attacked by hyena. And all this because there is no security to protect Kenyan people from the wildlife. It's heartbreaking. First, condolences to the family of that young boy and to the all friends and family to the young boy and to all of us Kenyan people, because this is a young soul, a leader tomorrow who is gone. And who is to blame? Of course, our Kenyan government. Those of us who always say, oh, you always see everything is on Kenyan. Hey, Kenya Wildlife Service, what's your work? How comes you're not able to protect our Kenyan people? But when you go to places like Masai Mara, Amboseli, Savo East, Savo West, I don't know, all these tourist places where a lot of foreigners come to Kenya, how comes the areas, the hotels, the cottages, the whatever, they're very well protected? Those of us who also go, who Kenyans, we also go to safaris and we see how well protected that is. That everywhere they put electric wires in the hotels or the cottages where the tourists are staying to make sure that there is protection, that the wildlife cannot come, lions and hyenas and everything cannot come and attack and eat people. Does it mean that the normal Mananchi, the normal Kenyan civilians, they are less important than those tourists who can afford to go on safaris? Does it mean that the lives of our normal Kenyans, those people that have minimum wage, they survive to put even a plate of food on the table, does it mean that their lives is not important? Because with this story, what happened in Jujar, I think, it's not the first time that hyenas have killed and eaten people. And what do our Kenyan government do? The Wildlife Service, because hey, what's your work? Kenyan government, how comes with all the trillions that you've ever borrowed to IMF, to China, from China, I don't know, from Europe, from everywhere, how comes you've never used from that money that you've been borrowing and stealing? How comes you don't have any human heart that you could have decided, hey, the people living there around Juja and wherever, where there are animals, very dangerous animals like hyenas, attack our people, you couldn't use some of that money to put electric wires to protect our Kenyan people? So our Kenyan people, their lives is not, it's worth nothing. All these we have to blame to the Kenyan government, because according to the news, is that it's not the first time these hyenas are attacking people. And everything, they make noise, but nothing is done, just ignored. We saw last night how sad our Kenyan people were, that they even, like today, there was a lot of demonstrations on the roads. And our Kenyan police, of course, they do the best, what they know how to do it. They started to throw tear gas to our Kenyan people who are peacefully protesting on the roads because of such attacks. It's heartbreaking. It's so sad. I think it's high time we all say as Kenyan people, enough is enough. If at all, right now, even wild animals are not sparing our Kenyan people. Wild animals are coming attacking our own people. And the Kenyan government, they don't care. They don't seem to even imagine that a young soul, like that young boy, those of us that follows the news, it was so heartbreaking to see the parents of that young boy. They were explaining what happened. That there were two boys. The older boy had gone to school. He came back home. His mom and dad, they're also hustlers. They go looking for how they could afford to put a plate of food on the table. And when the mom first came back, she sent the older boy to buy kales, sukuma wiki. But the younger boy wanted to follow the brother. The one who was eaten wanted to follow the brother, the older brother. And he did. And they bought the kales, and on the way back, I think they had been given some money to also buy mandazi so that they have something to carry to school the next morning. They went to buy mandazi, and there was a hyena attacking the younger boy. And the older boy, of course, he was scared. So he was screaming and running. And there were some people, I think, but far distance. And the hyena, we know how hyenas, how they are so dangerous. They dragged the young boy inside somewhere. And later on, when people went into a certain hole, they found the young boy. Heartbreaking stories. Already half of the face is gone. One of the leg is gone. This is something that the whole world need to know. We cannot allow these things. We cannot be quiet. Any tourist who is going to Kenya, you have to know that only you tourists who the Kenyan government adore because you're bringing money into Kenya, but the Kenyan government themselves, they don't care about the real Kenyan. The Kenyans who can't afford even to buy a plate, suffering. That wild animals are left roaming around, eating our people. It's heartbreaking. This is not okay. This is something we should be condemned by the whole world. Because that young boy is not the first one who's been eaten. We had stories. There are a few people who've been already eaten, and the government don't do anything about it. All the money that all the governments in Kenya have been stealing. How comes none of the government have ever thought to fence, electric fence, just like you do in Masai Mara areas, you do in Amboseli, you do in Savo East, Savo West, you do, all these places where there are tourists coming, bringing billions or trillions of money. Why you can't do that to our Kenyan people? Are they not important? I think Kenyans who watch these news, each and every Kenyan shed a tear. Very young boy, life's taken like that. And the government, your work is just to borrow and to steal. I always say here that Kenyan people, you are on your own. We normal Kenyans, we are on our own. Nobody cares or thinks about us. You can see like this. This is something that people have been complaining for a long time. We remember there was also a time people were complaining, I think in Muranga areas, how monkeys come and destroy what they plant. But they were always being ignored. So what happened? People started themselves to kill the monkeys themselves. Because everything they were planting, this and the monkeys were coming and destroying. Still, the government ignored them. And now here we are, 2024, wildlife coming to where no more Kenyan wananchi lives. It's heartbreaking. I think it's high time we say for Kenyan people, it's time that we are the majority, we the Kenyan people, the normal wananchi, we should join hands together and make sure that in 2027, all these government officials, they all go home. All of them. Because why are they there? They were elected to work for the Kenyan people. They were elected to work for all of us. I see learning. Thank you for coming. Welcome. You know, when you see all these news, what's going on every day, as a Kenyan, you should feel the pain. You should get angry as a Kenyan wherever you are, because this is nothing to joke with. This is nothing. It's not a laughing matter anymore. Because if you ask ourselves, we Kenyans, we owe so much money to IMF, to China, to Europe, and we are not able to put electric wire for where our Kenyan people are living, that hyenas can just come and grab a small child coming from buying something, that hyenas can just start to eat our Kenyan people, and we have a government. That's why I say that Kenya has turned to be a banana republic, because in 2024, I don't know which country cannot afford to put electric fence to protect its citizens, to protect the residents. But they have the money to build nice hotels for the tourists, to fence nice areas where the tourists are going on safaris, because the tourists are bringing billions and trillions. Each and every Kenyan must be very angry, and it's high time we all Kenyans, we join hands together and say enough is enough. We've been fooled enough by all the governments that have ever ruled Kenya. Because such areas, you know very well, there are people living in those kind of areas. Why you can't give them protection? Why you cannot fence? And you've been borrowing trillions. You know, this is, I'm talking this because it's not only our now President Ruto's government, it's all the governments that have been there. They've all been corrupt, all of them. I say it and I say it again, starting from the late Mzee Kenyatta, coming then to Moi, late Moi as well, Kibaki as well, because there were also corruption here and there. And now with Uhuru, you can also count on that, because he also took a lot of trillions, which we Kenyans, we don't know how we'll ever pay that. And now we have Ruto going to borrow again, I don't know, 40 billion in China or wherever. Crazy. While our people are being eaten by hyenas. That's embarrassing. And we as Kenyans, we have to stand here and smile. There is nothing to smile about. It's high time we all Kenyans make noise. Enough is enough. We've been fooled enough. So if you're there and you don't get the pain, you should feel the pain. You should. You know, when I saw this news yesterday, I think it happened like 6:40 Kenyan time, when that young boy was eaten by the hyena. And there were a lot of, you know, it was like a lot of people, mob and something like that. And then the police came, they started to throw tear gas on our unarmed Kenyans. Today when they were demonstrating on the roads again. So Kenyans, you are on your own. I said this 1,000 times so you can get the picture. Those of this, we are in 2024. Nowadays, we even don't care about where we come from or our tribes. We Kenyans, if you're a Kenyan and you and your family have never been politicians, you have to know we are on our own. Because the politicians, that's another world. So it's politicians and the other Kenyans. That's what we have. So that you have to understand, if you're there and you're just singing songs, hey, I'm from this tribe, hey, our leader, hey, the Luo people saying, hey, our people are chosen into the government, hey, wake up. No one, even that Raila Odinga, will come with a plate of food for you. You know, our Jacaranda boys who are always there singing Raila, Raila, Raila. Look now, Look where he is. But God don't sleep. God never sleep. Because maybe even that African Union chair he wants, maybe he won't get it. It could be he will not get it. Because God never sleeps. Because the politicians, their all greed is just themselves and themselves and themselves. They have their big, nice homes where nothing can attack them. They drive in cars. Our Kenyan people, many, they don't have cars. They have to walk barefoot. And there, they're being grabbed by hyenas on the streets. And nobody cares. Their politicians, they are fine in their big four-wheel cars, drive cars, and they've stolen from Kenyan people. Them, they are safe in those cars. Nothing can attack them. But the normal wananchi, they are walking far away to school, far away to shopping mall or shopping center or kiosk or whatever. And they're being attacked. And no one is thinking about them. No one is thinking what can do something about it. And that's why I'm saying, for we Kenyans, we have to know we are all on our own. Never look around and think that one is from my tribe, that one. No, we Kenyans. And I repeat here again, if you are here and you know very well you are not a politician, your family members are not politicians, you are on your own as a Kenyan. I repeat this and I will always say it because that's the way it is. Because if we join together as Kenyan and we say no one will be among us, no corruption, you say as a Kenyan, you will not bribe any police in whichever way. We're going to be building a nation then. Because even those police or all those people in offices, they will be afraid to ask for 1 shilling bribe. We as Kenyans, we start from here, YouTube, for example. If you have a YouTube channel or whatever, and there you're getting emails and, hey, give me this money, I can help you to grow your channel, blah, blah. That's bribing. That's up to you. You also do it. But the moment you do that, those same people who are helping you do this, one day they will also hack your channel because they have your details. They know what they can do. You know, it's high time we as Kenyans, wherever you are, you say corruption, no. In whichever department you are in. Because corruption is bad. Corruption kills a nation. Corruption puts people down. Well, with the young boy, it's heartbreaking. To lose a loved one that way. I also would like to send my condolences to our sweet and actress, Winnie. She was a great lady. Those of us who used to follow her and watch her, she was so blessed. Condolences as well to her family and friends and to all our Kenyan people, those who always followed her career and how she used to perform. She was really good. She always made us laugh so much. May her soul rest in peace. Let's go on to the next scandal. We know very well that our Gen Z, Morara, sooner or later, I'm sure he will be able to penetrate into Central. We have to know all the fake projects which are in the Central. I'm from Central. We want to know because there are many, but we've seen like today he's been, he's being put as a target because they don't want the truth to be known. But I'm 100% sure our agencies, they're intelligent, they're clever. He will make it to the mountain. He will be able to show us as well all the fake projects. And there are many. Because those fake projects started for many, many years ago, not only with President Ruto. No, we have to know all those fake projects, what has been going on, And that's what I'm saying. Our Kenyan Gen Zs, come out and have Morara. If you're from an area and you know there is a fake project, make a video and send it to Morara. We need to know, because there are many as well. You know, when some of the times when I sit here and I watch what has been going on in Kenya, I shed tears. I do. You know, for example, when we think about this Hustler Fund, this was also, again, it was a style to steal, because right now they're saying there is no money, right? So some of the money which President Ruto had also already borrowed for this Hustler Fund is gone, right? It's gone. That's why our teachers no payment, our doctors no payment, because there is no money. So Hustler Fund all went in people's pockets. So Hustler Fund was also to frown our Kenyan people. And we were warned about it. Because how can you say, I'll give you 1,000 or 10,000 Kenya shilling to start a business, which, you know, while other people are pocketing billions in their own pockets. Now the money is gone. Who will pay it? Each and every Kenyan. Even the unborn Kenyans, we already owe money already. It's heartbreaking. And we know very well that with all this, it's about kickbacks. The politicians, Kenyan politicians, if you hear, oh, there's a tender there, there's a tender there, a deal there, it's all about kickbacks. And that's why one time, how I pray that our agencies will get those positions so that they are able to get professional audits, even if from outside. We'll see what kind of transactions has been done, you know, because we'll be shocked as Kenyans. I'm 100% sure that in most tender in Kenya, it's all about kickbacks, what they get back. So if a project is announced to be, for example, 100 million, they ask kickbacks maybe half of it, 50 million or even more. Kickbacks. And that's why most of the Kenyan, they want to be politicians so they can continue to steal from our Kenyan people. You know, we Kenyan, we should continue to be angry. You know, I do remember when there was this story during Uhuru about Huduma number. We were so happy first because some of us who live in the West, like I live in Sweden, and in Sweden, we have Huduma number. It's called personal number. And with that number, each and every Swede, I mean, if you live in Sweden, not only citizen, residents, you must have that Huduma number, personal number. And how it works? Perfectly. Whatever you want, you just have to give your personal number. Let me shock our Kenyan people who don't know. For example, if you want to buy, I give you an example because I live here and I know how it works. I've done it myself. When you live in Sweden, for example, you want to have loan from a bank. Okay? Let's say, for example, you want to have 20 million Kenya shilling. I say in Kenya shilling, I convert, okay? You want 20 million Kenya shilling, for example, to buy an apartment. You want a flat. How it works, you come on your computer or you log in on your telephone or whatever, you log in with your personal number, and it's called ball loan. It's like you want an apartment or a house, okay? Of course, it's when you're working, because a bank cannot borrow you money when you're not working. So you log in your personal number, and after you log in, you fill in all the details, you know, your name and all your details and stuff like this, and it will come there automatic because everything about you is in there. It will show all the details, you know, about you, that you pay taxes every year, that you are not you know, you are clean, you usually pay your bills and stuff like that. And then the bank is able to see how much you earn per year. Okay, and then the bank directly in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They can show you there, we can borrow you. For example, if you wanted 20 million, they can say, according to what you earn, maybe you are able to get the amount according to your salary. Can be 20 million, 30 million. If you usually earn less, you could be. I see you, AJ. Thank you for coming. Welcome. So it depends. So that with that Huduma number, it really works. But now the worst thing of it is that in Kenya, it was again to steal pesa ya umma, because most of us went, we registered. I think most of the Kenyan registered for that Huduma number. Some of the people never got that number, never got that card, never. And all the money that was used, pesa ya umma, was gone. So it was again a fraud, because for most of the, even those who have those cards, those numbers, they've never used it in any way. And it was like, oh, you have Huduma number, you gonna, everything will be there. You don't need your ID or passport. Every details is there. It has never been used, even for those who got them. And many Kenyans didn't even get those cards, and they paid for it and everything. Heartbreaking. It's so sad. And right now, there's something which is called Maisha number, which is similar to Duma number. It's President Ruto who came with this Maisha number. So again, they are planning to even steal more from Kenyan people, because with this number, it will spend also much money, just like Huduma number. Again. So we Kenyans, we have to get very, very angry what's going on, because we are being taken for granted. We are being used as Kenyans. We are being lied to. By all means, we are being lied and told fairy tales. Because with Huduma, it was like, you don't need any driving license or ID or passport or ITM. Everything will be there. Nothing up to today. And all the money that was used is gone. Look, for example, with NHIF. I do remember when NHIF came. We, for example, who live in the diaspora, we were so happy that, oh my God, we can help our people back home, so that in case something happens, someone is sick, the people back home will stop to disturb us, to help them pay this and this and that for hospitals. A lot of people are paying, and then they go to hospitals after they want to get help from the health insurances. Most of them don't get, and if you get, small peanuts. And now again, President Ruto has come with SHIF, or what it's called. It's same like in HIF. It's again stealing pesa ya umma. That will be the same case. So where are we as Kenyans safe? In whose hands are we safe as Kenyans? Because for me, if I'm asked, we are on our own as Kenyans. The politicians, they have their own world. We, the normal Kenyans, we are on our own. And it's high time we join hands together as normal Kenyans. Because the politicians, I will not call them normal, because if they were normal, they would not do what they are doing to many Kenyan people. They will not ignore us. They will not mistreat us, because they are mistreating our Kenyan people. And they have no heart at all. You know, some of these stories, when I watch this, I'm shocked. I'm like, I even sometimes become speechless. Because you ask, where are we gonna run to as Kenyans? You know, I think when we Kenyan people, we join hands together, that's the only time we'll be able to send all these corrupt politicians home. I said before that we should be ready to be ruled by Gen Zs and millenniums in Kenya. We don't want all these older politicians. We don't want them, all of them. Wende nyumbani wote. All of them should go home, so that we Kenyans, we can start afresh. Because right now, politicians, it's just them and their families and their friends. You and me, we normal Kenyans who work so hard to be able to pay anything that we want. We are on our own. So it's high time we join hands together for the first times. It doesn't matter from which tribe you are from. If you know that you yourself, you're not a politician, your family, and they are not in political, they're not politicians at all, let's join hands together and say enough is enough. We will not allow all this anymore. Because, like, for example, all the loans that are being taken, who will ever pay that? Who will ever pay that? And remember, most of those politicians, when there's turmoil in Kenya, when there are wars and everything like that, they put their family members in planes and bring them here in the diaspora where we are. We know most of them. They even have built nice homes for them, bought nice homes in these Western countries. So we normal Kenyans, we are on our own if you're a Kenyan. And you know your family is not a politician. It's something that has been there all the times. Like, wait a minute. If you want to be rich, be a politician in Kenya. It's so sad. Instead of, if you want to work for the people, you should be a politician. Like here in the West, they work for the people. And it's not like that we treat them like they are gods. No, it's not like that here. You even would find a prime minister riding bicycle or something like that. In Kenya, even from your village, member of parliament, have already a big nice car, already big nice house from taxpayers' money. And on top of that, corruption and stealing public funds. I think the only way we Kenyans, we are able to send these people back home is 2027. Because right now, as we see how things are, President Ruto joined with Raila. And we know very well how Raila is. I've always said it, if you can, those who have been listening to me, I've always said it, that Raila is a political goon, conman. Because right now, if he don't get that African Union chair, you will see what will happen. He want to come back and take the position again as opposition. Forget about, Kalonzo. Musyoka already trying to take that position for Raila. Believe you me, after Raila will not get the African Union position, and he will not, because there is God in heaven. I pray he will not. Because if you mind about the people, before he was telling us how bad even Uhuru was, or how bad Ruto is, now they're together again. So it's all about his stomach. Raila is about his stomach. I've said this 1,000 times. So I ask kindly our boys in Jacaranda who always go, Raila. Now you're on your own there. You are. I don't think that whatever he gets, he will come and share with you, or with your children, or with your wives, no, husbands. No, you are on your own. So clean up, wake up. Think that you are there as a Kenyan, and you and your family are not politicians. You are on your own. I want these words to come in your heads. We are saying that all these politicians who've been there in 2027, let's send them home. And the only way we can do that, when you're voting, vote wisely. Don't agree to be bribed by anybody. Because the moment you accept to be bribed, that politician later on, when he or she gets that position, want the money back. They will not look at you. They will come back to you after 5 years. It's when you'll see them again. So wake up as a Kenyan. If you love our nation, if you love our motherland, wake up. When they are coming around, hey, I'm going to give you a packet of maize flour and wheat flour and sugar and this and rice, hey, and shuka or whatever for the wamamas. Say no, thank you. Learn to say no to corrupt politicians. Because it starts with us Kenyans. The moment we have to have discipline as Kenyans, wananchi, let's wake up, because we are on your own. We are on our own. Let's hold hands together and say no to corruption, no to bribing. And we'll be able to send all these criminals home in 2027. But the moment you're there, you're sitting there and you're saying, oh, let me take a little bit money here, money there. The next time, you yourself, your child, while walking somewhere, will also be eaten by hyena, because the government, the corrupt government, cannot put electric wire, electric fence to protect you and your children and your friends. They cannot do that. Instead, they pocket their money themselves. You know, it's a lesson that we Kenyan, we have to learn. If at all to put electric fence to protect our Kenyan people is such a big issue for the Kenyan government to do. Because Kenya Wildlife Service, they say, oh, we don't get the money. Come on, you get a lot of billions from Masai Mara, from Amboseli, from Savo East, Savo West, all these tourist attraction places in Kenya. You get a lot of money. Why you can't use some of that money to fence these other areas where the normal wananchi is living and it's dangerous for wildlife? Because you don't care. Because you're selfish and egoistic. So it's high time. We as Kenyans, let us join hands together and say we are on our own. If you haven't heard this story about that young boy who was eaten last night by hyena, and there are many other people in the same area around have been eaten as well. And the government, they know that, but they do nothing. They don't care, because your life is not important to them. What's important to them is after 5 years that they can get your vote. That's the only thing they want from you. They don't care if you're sleeping hungry. They don't care if your children are going barefoot to school. They don't care if you have money for school uniform or not. They don't care. Because if they care, 2024, in this year we are in, each and every school from kindergarten to primary school, secondary school, university, college should be free in Kenya, if they really care. Because since years and years, even before, when coffee and tea plantations were good, they pocketed all the money, leaving our poor workers living in mud houses. I do remember when I was growing up, I went one time to visit my late grandfather. He was from Muranga, Kagemi or something, Kagemi. And I was shocked. Those years, I do remember it was in 1991, the first time I went to Muranga, just after I had finished my KCPE, when I was joining Form 1. So I was taken by one of my cousins for the first time in Muranga. I had never visited Muranga. So when I went there, I was shocked to see how many mud houses there were. Mud houses, Nyubashiadoro. Because for me, having grown up in Luakabete, the poor houses we had there was like maybe mabati houses, iron sheet houses. We used to have one, me and my family, or wooden houses. There are many people with the wooden, but mud houses in my area we never had. Just one from very, very far away, but around our area we never had any mud house. So it was shock for me to see all the many mud houses in Muranga. And those people, they were working so hard in their coffee plantations and tea plantations. I was shocked. They were working so hard, and because they used to work hard, but they used to get peanuts in return. It was heartbreaking. Really heartbreaking. Because this stealing pesa ya umma, it started from the times of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. That's when they started to steal from our Kenyan people. And it has gone on all other governments because that's their style. That's what they know to do best. They don't know how to care about you as a normal mwananchi. No, they don't. That now, even, I can just say this, what hurts me so much is that they have no heart. As a human being, you can have some feelings at least. And that's why for me, I even don't believe in all these things. Politicians, hey, going to church, hey, holy. You're not holy. You're all pretenders. I do remember growing up that late Moi, he was also a church man. Almost every Sunday, Moi used to go to church. While most of the Kenyan public money was stolen. And every Sunday you're going to church. Giving Harambe so that in the next 5 years you can be re-elected. Then you steal more. I say this, God don't sleep, because all those that have ever stolen Pesaya, the public funds, them and their children and the generations to come, you are all cast. All of you. You will never have peace in your lives. Because the moment one of our child in Kenya is being attacked and eaten by hyena, just because you politicians, you're selfish, you cannot fence where our normal Kenyans are living. You cannot put electric fence to protect them. That life that is lost just because of your carelessness and your selfishness will haunt you and your families to come, and generations to come. That's why we say most of these rich people, even you see them in their big cars, in their big villas, in the night, they're not able to sleep. They cannot sleep. God cannot allow them to sleep. They have sleepless nights. And it will continue that way. Not only them, their generations to come. They can never sleep. They will never have nice sleep. Because there is God in heaven who see them while they do how they mistreat our Kenyan people. If you're a Kenyan and you're out there, please, let's join hands together. Maybe even 2027, even earlier than 2027, maybe God is able to do something through our Gen Zs and millenniums, and we get our country back. You know, when we think about tomorrow, the generations to come, it's sad, because we ask ourselves, what kind of life are they gonna have? Will there be even Kenya? Because if things continue to be the way they are, there will not be any country called Kenya. We have to get back our country from these greedy, selfish Kenyan politicians. We cannot allow ourselves to continue to be ruined and fooled and lied to over and over again. We have to say enough is enough as a nation. Enough is enough as Kenyans. You know, when I was watching this news about that young boy last night, I prayed, I asked God, why? Please, God, save our country, save our Kenyan people from these greedy, selfish politicians. They are all greedy, all of them. No one cares about you as a Kenyan. As a normal Kenyan, politicians don't care about you. All what they want from you is your vote. I say it again. So that in 5 years, every 5 years, they can come back to you, you can give them your vote. Nothing else they want from you. So it's high time, we all Kenyans, we should know we are on our own and we should continue to make noise. Look at the airport. You know, with this Adani, Indian, taking our Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. You know, there are so many hidden agendas in there because nobody is coming out to show Kenyans, you know what? This is the deal we made. This is the contract. Those are hidden from us. Look, the port in Mombasa. We don't know what was signed there also during Uhuru time. We don't know. Nobody shows us contracts. No one. Because they don't care. I'm sure the politicians themselves, they have that secret. They know what's in them. And when they have any of the politicians trying to give us information, they silence him or her. Look at the abductions in Kenya. That the moment any Kenyan open the mouth, they're silenced. Abductions everywhere. We're still waiting to know during the Gen Zs and millenniums demonstrations, our missing children, our missing youths, where are they? Dead bodies have been found for some. We know about the story, the dumped. Then it came the story. You know, it's just fooling us. I get so angry when I just listen to all these lies. And that's why I say we are here to stay. We'll continue making noise. And all what we post, it will stay there because internet never forgets. This is something that the ones who will come will listen. They will know what was going on back home. They will know how Kenyans were being treated by the government. They will know how much our Kenyan people have been left alone by the politicians. And that's why when we make all these, don't think it's just for today. No, it's for the days to come. History will be written. We want the history to be remembered. That our Kenyan people have been mistreated. They are not treated right. And you as a Kenyan, continue making noise wherever you are. And let's continue praying for our motherland. Our Gen Zs, our millenniums, we are with you. We'll continue being with you. Because you're very brave that you're standing there and talking on behalf of each and every Kenyan. You're saying enough is enough. You know, so what I can say, if you're a youth and from your area, you know there are some fake projects, make a video. Make a video and let's support Morala. Let's do it. Help him. Expose all these criminals. If you are in your area, I'm sure you know about a fake project. Go there, make a film for us, post it here online. Technology is everything nowadays. We need to know, we need to see all these criminals, what they've been stealing. Because we have to make sure, the way they've been silencing our Kenyan people, we have to make sure that we expose them. All their hidden evil plans and all what they've been hiding from us, we have to make sure that it's out here, that each and every Kenyan will know we've been ruled by criminals, people who are not leaders, people who are just greedy, who want just something for their stomachs. And I say one thing, when I post all this, I think about the future to come because I want later on the generations to come, if there will be, they can hear what was going on in Kenya. For example, in 2024, we are in 2024, they will know what was going on so that they will make sure that those people who've been there, nobody want to hear them. them and their family. Look, for example, I can give example with Moi's family. Look at them. Nobody hears them anymore because we are Kenyans. We are afraid. When you hear it's a son of Moi, you are like, oh my God, no thank you. Because we have bad memories of their father or of their grandfather, what he did. That's why I always say it's very important to set a good example as a parent. Look, today, when people hear the late Kibaki, when his children or relatives one time want to be politicians, I'm sure most of us will vote for them because their late father left a very good name. He tried with the economy for Kenya. He tried his best, although he was being disturbed left, right, center by the other corrupt people around him. But he tried. So he left a good name for his children, generations to come, that their father, their grandfather tried the best for Kenya. But you as a parent, even you politicians, you continue to steal. And let me tell you, you are spoiling the name of the generations to come. You'll be, Moi is a good example that nobody like to hear the name Moise. Nowhere. No positions. Because you hear, you are like, oh my God, wait a minute. Okay. And it's the same when you hear right now, for example, Uhuru Kenyatta, he took so many trillions credit loans on behalf of us Kenyans without asking Kenyans, because we know how much was allowed at the parliament. So whenever you'll ever hear any child of Uhuru Kenyatta or relative, you'll be like, oh my God, wait a minute. Loans, credits, putting so much burden on our Kenyan people. There is Ruto right now. We already have nickname for him. Ya kutenga na ku blah blah, whatever he says, the 3Ks. Telling fairy tales. It's name of fairy tales. Someone who, actions speak louder than words. Don't promise if you know you cannot fulfill. Fake promises. He's already there that whenever you'll ever hear a child of President Ruto and generations to come, you'll always be afraid, oh, that's someone who don't keep the promises. That's someone who tells fairy tales. He's already told us. That's how he's known now. And this will continue for years and years. That's why I say, as a parent, whether you're politicians or not, set good examples. It's very important, because the ones you leave behind you, people will know if they can trust the generations to come. You're spoiling for them. But anyway, it seems like you don't care because maybe you've stolen so much. So you will leave everything to them. So maybe they don't need to work, maybe. But once for sure, setting good example is very, very important. Don't think just for today. Think for the future, for the children you have, for the, your great grandchildren. And also, you should be God-fearing. Because if you're God-fearing, you don't do some of all these things. You don't go lying people carelessly. You don't mistreat people this way. And then every Sunday or whatever you're going to church, which God do you pray? Let me ask. Because like for me, I don't go to church since 30 years, but I pray from home. But one thing I can tell you, that I will not sit here and start to tell you fairy tales. And I will not sit here and start to take bribes. I will not sit here and accept bribes around me. I hate bribes very well. So much. Even anybody who tried to ask me for bribe, I cut contacts with those kind of people, because corruption is not my cup of tea. Patience pays. Better to wait than to be corrupt. Corruption kills a nation, as I've said. So let us, we as Kenyan people, join hands together and say no to corruption in whichever field you are in, so that we can try to save our country. Anyway, what can I say? Let me see what you said here a little bit. Learning saying hello, don't get emotional. Hey, Learning, I'm Kenyan. I love my country. Of course I do, Learning. You are only listening to the people. But remember, we have lived with these animals for long. Hyenas are very cunning. Very cunning them. Very cunning them. Hey, listen, Miss Learning or Miss Learning. Look, if you've ever gone to Savo East, Savo West, Masai Mara, Amboseli, or this, if you've ever gone, okay? And you sit in some of the hotels or lounge where the tourists stay, those places are very well protected. I can tell you, I've gone very many times to those safaris. For example, in the east, you have like a place up there you're living, and down there, Savo East, you can see lions and all the other wild animals when your hotels is up here, down there. But they have electrical so nicely, no animals can come there. And they even have generators, so in case any power would fail, their generators, they have solar, so they have to make sure that those electric fans are working 24 hours. So this is nothing to do with hyenas are very tricky. No, this is about, if you care about your people, you have to fence, just like you do it for the tourists. In the tourists, as I've said, I don't know if you've ever gone on safaris or not, they're very well protected from the wild animals. Why you can't do this to our normal Kenyans living at Juja, Thika areas? Because you don't care. AJ saying, hey AJ, thank you for coming. Learning tihi wewe ni Swedish kabisa. Well, no, Learning, I'm Kenyan, but I'm also Swedish citizen. But east or west, home is the best. I am Kenyan. I speak perfect Kikuyu, perfect Kiswahili. I'm Kenyan, trust me. Talk about Sweden. Mko aje huko IKEA? That I can talk about. IKEA, as you know, the owner of IKEA before was corporate. He died very, very rich man, but he was very correct, and he never misused even one of his coin. He actually, when he used to fly, he used to go with Ryanair. Ryanair is one of the cheapest flights around Europe. He used to go with that. He was very economic, but he left a good name, and his children and his relatives, they're carrying on with business. We know IKEA is all around the world, right? You know, setting a good example is very important. He showed his children, don't waste even a single coin. Working hard is very important. And that's what Campred was his name. That's why, you know, IKEA. That the owner of IKEA, as I'm saying. It's all around the world, yes. Do you in God? I don't understand the question. Or do you mean if I believe in God? Yes, I believe in God. And I pray at home. I don't go to any building called church, because church people, they showed so many bad examples. That's why I stopped. Learning saying, please stop. You are far truth is where you are. You are getting evidence. Continue with your purpose. Wait, you are far truth is where you are. You are getting evidence. Continue with your purpose. I don't exactly understand what you mean, but I can just wait a minute. I can just do like this. So perfect. Wait a minute. Yeah, exactly. Then we have Joyce Valeria is saying NCK and chats. Hi, umehang ao. No, I'm not hanging. Am I hanging? I don't think I'm hanging. I hope I'm not. I hope you can hear me. Yes. Joyce is saying to like, yeah, it's okay. I'm fine. For me, it's like, you know, I'm not in a hurry with YouTube. Yes. I take my time because I put it here so that later on in life, the generations will come to hear what was going on in Kenya. And that's why I make all this. I think about tomorrow. Yes, I do. All right. And thank you so much for those that have listened and those that are going to listen. And please, if you haven't touched the subscribe button, please do that. I'll appreciate. Yes, and you can like, comment, and share as well. And I'll let you know the next time I'll be back, of course, next week, because now it's weekend. So weekend is tomorrow is Friday, so it's weekend. Weekend I don't come live, but I'll be back next week. So stay blessed. Let's continue to hold hands together as Kenyans. Let's pray for our nation and our Gen Zs, millennials. We are with you. We have to make sure we get our country back from all these corrupt politicians. Thank you and stay blessed. Bye bye.